Hardy, blogger and joy strategist from chasing-joy.com, and I'm back giving you guys my weekly bump date, and more importantly, telling you guys about my experience taking the childbirth class as a single mom by choice. So before I get into the class, I'll just give you guys stats on where I am today. So today is Thursday, January 25th, and I am 26 weeks and I think 5 days pregnant, depending on which app you look at, 5 or 6 days, and baby is the size of a scallion or a butternut squash, depending on the app. Those two vegetables to me are not the same size at all, so I don't know how that works with the app, but that's what it said. So I guess I'll tell you guys, I know I talked a little bit about week 25 last week, so I'll just talk about what's happened since last video. So I guess that will be the end of week 25 and most of week 26. My best moments would have to be, I feel like taking the childbirth class was a good moment overall. Yeah, my worst moment wasn't really anything bad happening. Oh yeah, there was a worse moment now that I'm thinking about it. Monday night this week. So you guys know I have 2 cats, Buttercup and Peanut. So they were overdue with going to the vet. They usually go in the fall, but I was very early in the pregnancy then and didn't want to risk trying to, like, you know, maneuver them in a carrier and all that. So I took them Monday, and if you have cats, you know, it can be a struggle to wrangle them and get them in the carriers and everything. Luckily, my niece was here and helped me. I got them in the carrier. She helped me with getting them to the car, so I wasn't carrying, you know, like two of them at the same time. And went to the vet, and my one cat just freaks out so badly they have to muzzle him and everything. But then the vet people helped me bring the carriers back to the car, and then I brought them back in by myself, but one at a time. And through all that, I didn't feel like I was overdoing it, because in the past, like let's say last year, when I took them to the vet, I popped them each in a carrier, wrangled them on my own, carried the carriers by myself, one in each hand, and it was no big deal. Well, it's like your body kind of tricks you or betrays you a little bit when you're pregnant. You feel like you can do more than you can, and so it's very easy to overdo it. By the time I got back home and got them out of the carriers and got situated, I was in so much pain. I was literally hurting everywhere from like my breastbone to my knee. Like my thighs hurt, my hips hurt, my pelvis, my whole stomach was just aching. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I just like put my feet up and drank a lot of water. And apparently I overdid it. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, a contraction or anything like that where I'd be worried, but just like that achiness, like as if I did a really rough workout. And all I did was like wrangle some cats. So that was definitely my worst moment of the week. Aversions. So I've always had this love-hate relationship with eggs since I was like, I don't know, 10. So I don't really want to call it an aversion because it's totally not pregnancy related. But I boiled some eggs for like extra protein on what day? On Tuesday, I think I had boiled eggs. It was fine. Wednesday, I brought 2 boiled eggs to work. I ate the first one, no problem. Second one, felt like I was going to be sick, so just threw it away. And then since then, didn't want any more eggs. So I didn't even bother to eat the last one today. I just threw it away. So yeah, but that's been an ongoing thing like most of my life. So I don't really want to count that toward the pregnancy, but the goal of eating the eggs was for the pregnancy to up my protein. So my sleep has been interesting. I told you guys it had improved, and it had, but then on Monday night going into Tuesday, I went to sleep pretty early. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. Tuesday night going into Wednesday, I went to sleep pretty early so that I'll be able to get up feeling good. And I woke up at 3 in the morning, 3:30, feeling panicked out of this dream. I dreamt that I had had the baby and couldn't get the car seat. I couldn't get the baby in the car seat and so I couldn't come home with the baby. So I woke up panicked thinking about like, how am I gonna get the baby home in the car seat? And I calmed down, you know, I talked myself off the ledge, like relax, like you're gonna get the baby home. And I'll talk a bit more about that when I talk about the childbirth class, but you know, that made me wake up in a panic, and I guess it was like all this adrenaline because then I couldn't go back to sleep at all that night. So eventually I just got up and went to work. So I got to work like a half hour early. I got there around like 6:30, 6:30, 6:45. And yeah, so by the end of the day I was very tired, but I was like, if I can't go back to sleep, I might as well just give up. I mean, not give up, get up. So sleep was been a little weird. Last night I did pretty good. No weird dreams or anything. Pregnancy symptoms. So I told my friend today, I think I mentioned in the video last week that since like right after me hosting the Chase and Joy Brunch and Learn, I started to have like pregnancy aches and pains, and that is continuing and getting worse. I think as the baby is growing, the weight on my pelvis is making more, I think it's round ligament pain, but for me it's not like sharp stabby pains, but like just like really achy. Like every time I stand up and I have to if I have to walk a ways, it's just like, oh, it just like kind of hurts. Then sometimes I can be standing and not feel anything, so kind of comes and goes. So yeah, but that's really sucking. I think I might get one of those support belts, but I have to see if I can find one that's plus size. I saw some on Amazon, but didn't really trust it. So if any of you, especially if you're plus size, if you can recommend a belt, I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments. Exercise. So I did exercise on Sunday. I went walking. If you follow me on Instagram and Facebook or even Twitter, because my feeds go into my Twitter feed, you saw that I went walking. I ended up doing 1.5 miles, and it was rough. It was so hard. It's hard for me to believe that I was doing 4 miles in August. But I did it, and I felt good that I did it. Got out there. The weather was nice. It wasn't as cold. The sun even came out, so I did get the walk in. And then that was it so far. Yesterday I walked a bit outside because I took my car for maintenance. So I had to like walk from the mechanic onto the base. I work on a military base, by the way, to my building, which is like a few blocks each way. So did get some exercise with that. My medications are all the same: the baby aspirin, vitamin D, niacin, and vitamins D, C, and E. My mood, I've been pretty happy. I'm feeling the slightest bits of anxiety as we're like 3 months out from baby, and my brunch that I hosted is over, so I'm really starting to focus in on the things I need to get done. And there are a lot of things, but overall my mood has been happy. I've told everyone knows I'm pregnant. I have not made any baby purchases this week. And what am I looking forward to? I'm I'm still really looking forward to my baby shower to find out the gender, of course. A coworker started asking me some questions about a work shower, so that's really nice. I have mixed feelings about that. Excited and feeling very blessed that someone would want to do that for me at work, and kind of like, oh, it'll be nice that it's my turn since I've participated in other people's showers, but still a little apprehensive about the amount of attention related to something so personal at work. But I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to say I don't want it. So that's the main things I'm looking forward to. Am I feeling like I miss anything? I'm missing being able to get up and walk around and not be like hurting. But I told my coworker that I was achy. I think it was on Tuesday. I'm sorry, it was Wednesday. And that day, my whole stomach just ached everywhere. And she was saying, it's just a stretching. So, yeah, I feel like people don't really talk about the aches and pains of pregnancy very much. So, I miss not being achy. And I'll finish with a bump shot at the end. And in terms of gender, obviously still don't know. It's amazing how many people think boy. I mean, literally once or twice a week, somebody is telling me boy. So who knows? They have 50% chance of being right, and I really have no clue. So we'll see what happens. So I went to the childbirth class on Saturday. My cousin, who is the baby's godmom, came with me because she's going to be my support person through childbirth. And overall, I really enjoyed the class. It was a good experience. I'm glad I went. I did have some apprehension going just because I'd heard on online, reading some of the single mom forums and things like that some people did not like the class because they felt, talked too much about husbands, and they felt out of place. And so I was a little nervous going. I didn't want to be treated like weird or anything, but it was a good experience for me. So we were the only non-married couple there, and we were the only two women couple. So there wasn't even like a same-sex couple there either. It was all traditional husband-wife or couples, like maybe boyfriend-girlfriend. So I did feel a little, I don't want to say out of place, but a little, I don't know, like didn't fit in a little bit. But the way the class was structured, we really didn't interact a lot with each other, so it really didn't matter. And the teacher or the instructors, I felt like they were making an effort. Now, they did say dad a lot or the husband a lot, but the reality is the class was mostly dads and husbands. Like, we were the only non-traditional, pair there. So I can't really be mad at them for that. They would catch themselves sometime and say, or, partner or best friend or whatever. And when I specifically asked the question, she would phrase her answer with, and your partner. So I felt like they were making an effort to not be exclusionary, I guess, in their language. But honestly, I don't offend that easily, and I don't take a whole lot of things personal. So, it is what it is. But I'm glad I went and didn't let those comments from other people's experience weird me out into not going, because I learned a lot and it was valuable for me. So they went over the stages of labor. I already knew that labor can take you hear about people being in labor 24, 36 hours. So I knew it could take forever. But it kind of was a reality check for me that the amount of time that you labor kind of on your own before going to the hospital can be hours. And that hadn't really registered with me until the class. And in having that register, they went over some different techniques and relaxation techniques to do while you're laboring on your own. So for me, I plan to get the drugs. I plan to get an epidural. But it's still the fact that before I can get to the hospital for the epidural, I have to be far enough into the labor to be admitted. So there's going to be some time I'm home alone. And so I'm glad I had the class to kind of make that stick for me so I could start to prepare. So it also shined a light on the fact that I have a little bit of work to do, because their advice was to think of the things that you do when you're sick or in pain to make yourself feel better in terms of like your normal self-care, or to help yourself relax when you're like maybe a bit sick or in pain. Well, the blessing is that I am hardly ever sick or in pain, not for any serious amount of time. So I don't really have go-to things that I do. I don't have go-to music that I listen to, or a go-to blanket, or go-to aromatherapy, any of that, which are what they were kind of recommending, that in those early stages of labor, kind of think about the things you normally do to help you relax when you're sick or in pain, and do those things, plus do some of the techniques we learned in class. So I felt like I got a little bit of work to do, which was surprising for me. And I did write about it on the blog, because I write about, ways for women to find happiness and chase joy. And part of that is like having good self-care practices. So it was really eye-opening for me to see that there was this aspect of my life that I had not really developed any self-care practices for. Because of the blessing, I've never really been like sick or down and out. I think the last time, and I'll like knock on wood, the last time that I was sick for several days, like a stomach virus or bad flu, was like 9 years ago. So like I really don't have any like go-to things. But that's what we learned. They taught some like different massage techniques. They brought some massage tools like tennis balls and other like handheld massagers to see what you like. And a couple of them I did like, I think, that I'm gonna buy. So my plan, and I guess I'll be showing you guys in a few weeks, is to kind of get a box and have in the box some of those things to use in early labor, some of those massagers. I think I'm gonna get another exercise ball, like a bigger one that I can kind of roll around on. But yes, that was like one of my biggest takeaways. So in addition to the stages of labor, they did talk about the medications and stuff, the different types, the kind you can get your IV or like epidural. I don't think I'm going to get the kind in the IV because those do transfer to the baby. But they explain the benefits and the negatives. But I do think I'm definitely still planning to get the epidural. So yeah. Another good thing about the class was it did help with communication, and I imagine even for couples, like even if you were doing, going through pregnancy with your husband, I'm sure there are things that you maybe don't talk about or don't even think to discuss, or you don't want to worry the other person, or the husband might not want to worry the pregnant wife. But they really did help with communication. They had this do exercise where you and your birth partner both take an index card, and on the front I was supposed to write 2 things I was afraid of about the birth, and then on the back I was supposed to write 2 things I wanted my partner to do for me during the labor. And then the partner was supposed to write 2 things that they were afraid of about the labor, and 2 things that they thought that I was afraid of. So it really helped with like the dialogue. So I'll tell you guys what I wrote. So I wrote that I was most afraid of the pain, and then the overall feeling of being exposed and vulnerable. I don't like that at all. And then what I wanted from my partner was, like support, but specifically for her to remind me that I'm okay if I start to panic. Because if you've been watching my channel for a while, when I went to do the egg retrieval, when they took me back to the operating room. I'd never been in the operating room, and they started, I don't want to say grabbing me because they weren't grabbing me, but my perception was that they were grabbing me and everybody was doing things to me. Like one person was taking my oxygen, another person was my blood pressure on this side, somebody was lifting my legs to stretch the bed out, and the big OR light was in my face, and I started to panic. Like I felt like I was going to freak out. And I had no clue that I would feel that way. So I wrote that down, and then I talked to her, she's actually who came with me for the retrieval. So I told her, about how I felt I was going to panic. So like to reassure me if I start to like freak out, like everything's okay, you're okay, help me to stay calm. And then for her to communicate with family and help me, I'm not sure how I feel about visitors during labor, but to support me in whatever that is. So it was good. And I think her fears were that she would panic. and I don't remember what her other one was. But it was interesting. So the instructor's response was, if it's okay for her to panic, as long as she doesn't do it in front of me. So like, go to the bathroom, have her panic, and then come back. Which I think was good advice. I mean, it's scary to watch someone go through something, and they're in pain, you can't do anything. So, that was good. We had a tour, of the labor room, which is your labor and your deliver in the same room. It was very quiet when we went through. We could hear baby crying, but like no women screaming in pain or anything. And I feel like that was it. And she was the instructor, what I also appreciated was my instructor was very, very pregnant. She looked like she could go like any day now. So you kind of felt like she's in it with us, like she wasn't telling us a bunch of stuff, that was BS, but, yeah. So I like that part too. So overall it was a good experience. So my advice is, if you have never given birth before, go to the birthing class. Hopefully you have a good experience like I did. If you're a single mom by choice, still go. Try to not take it personal if they say dad or husband a lot, because the reality of it is, in that environment, that's what most of the couples are going to be in. You really can't blame the teacher for kind of slipping into that dialogue. But it was nice when our instructors did attempt to be a little more inclusive of our scenario, and no one asked me any weird questions. We didn't even really, other than like a smile or hi, we didn't even really chat with the other couples because everyone was just busy taking their own notes and listening. So my experience was good with the childbirth class. I hope if you take one, yours will be too. But that's what it was like for me, a single mom by choice, going into a traditional childbirth class with a bunch of couples. So I end the video here. It's already longer than I thought. I forgot to talk about weight. So I did weigh myself, and I feel like in January I gained like 6 pounds. Over the I last weighed myself on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. You're going to see this video Friday. So from Tuesday to last week, I didn't gain anything, but like the first half of January, I gained like 6 pounds. So I'm hoping like most of it, well, I have mixed feelings. Partially, I'm hoping most of it's baby, and that would explain why like I'm suddenly having, a lot of pain. Sorry, ooh, excuse me, a lot of pelvic pain when I stand up because the baby's getting so big, and the stretching because the baby's getting big fast. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't want the baby to get too big because, as I learned in the childbirth class, the baby has to come out. And we also went over like inductions and things to help with labor, like forceps and like suctions and cesareans. I'm like, I don't want any of that, so I don't want the baby to get too big. So that's what's going on with the weight. And I ended with a bump shot, guys, that pretty much like 2 days or a day and a half shy of 27 weeks. This is not a maternity shirt. It's a regular shirt, but maternity pants. You can see the bump is there. From the back, I hope I don't look too different or spread out. But there it is. There's the bump. So that's all I have for you guys. Let me know, for those of you who took childbirth classes, what did you get out of it? Did you like it? Did you think it was worth it? If you didn't take one, do you felt like you would have benefited from one? And leave a message in the comments for whoever might come along and stumble upon this video later, if they're trying to decide on what to do. Leave your 2 cents in the comments. And lastly, before I go, I will add, the main reason I took the childbirth class was because I know my partner had never had a baby either, and I felt we could both learn together and know what to expect. And also, I feel like, you know, labor, having a baby is natural. Like, I know that my body knows what to do. However, I know that the mind is very powerful, and if I freak out, I know I can mess up my body's own rhythm by like being too stressed and like clenching up and make it a lot harder on myself. So part of my rationale for the class, for taking the class, was so I could learn more, be more prepared, and decrease the likeliness that I would freak out and cause myself an even harder labor than I would get naturally. So only time will tell. We'll see after I give birth if I think that it was worth it and the tools and tips helped. But that's why I took the class. So leave your comments below, and I will check in with you guys next week.